cast because of these trees. And to make a roll cast, you go through a special procedure technique. And I think I'll take you over to my pond and demonstrate that roll cast to you so that you'll have some perspective, because it's going to be a little hard here to teach that area. But the first thing I do is I'm behind the fish. The darker water there is probably where they're going to be staying, just below the waterfall. And so I strip off about as much line as I need to cast up there. Next thing, I just put it out on the water like this. Now I just make a roll cast and put it up into the pool. And then just begin to fish the fly out of the pool. So the roll cast just brings the line back. That way we don't get in the tree. Cast it up, let it sink down. Had a little strike, but he didn't take it. And it's resist that habit of trying to pull that fly out of the water and make a 4-part cast, because boy, it's so easy to hang up if you do that, and then you've lost the fly. The little stream limits a little bit about what I can show you to do or to teach you to do. So we've moved over here to the pond, and let me give you a demonstration. Roll casting essentially is one of the first procedures or methods that we teach to learn how to fly fish. And yet, it's amazing how many people who have fished for years have not learned how to roll cast properly. And if there's one thing that will help you control line, to be able to cast it the directions you want it, to be able to fish where you want to fish, what have you, it's this roll cast maneuver. And I call it a roll cast maneuver because it is a method of casting and placing the line, and it's not necessarily a fishing cast, but it's a maneuver you make so that you can fish better. Before I start out, let me just kind of run real quickly through the uses of this roll cast maneuver. The first thing is that if you've got a lot of slack line, whether it's because you made a bad cast or missed a fish or what have you, the hardest thing to do is to pick that slack line up and make a good presentation with it. So with a roll cast, with this slack line I've got here on the water, I can just straighten it out immediately so that I can make a good forward cast. So now I'm right into a perfect forward cast. And that's probably the biggest use for it, is that anytime you have excessive slack, you can take that slack right out and then be able to be efficient at your next move that you're going to make in casting or fishing a fly. The next and the most obvious thing, particularly on the creek, is that it allows you to propel the fly forward without making a cast up and back, which may entail hanging up in a tree or hitting something. So I can fish the fly forward with the line only basically at my side and the fly in front of me. So just that cast like that allows me to fish the fly forward and back on there. Roll cast will also allow you to be able to position the fly low to the left, low to the right, or straight overhand. So you can position it in all directions like that. And then forms of roll casting, you can make the fly swim in different directions. For instance, if I make the roll cast over here, I make the fly swim over to my left. If I make a roll cast over here, I make the fly swim to my right. If I make the roll cast away, the fly goes away from me. So it allows you to change positions on a stream or a lake with the fly and make it actually swim or move in different directions, where just a straight line coming back towards you doesn't allow you to do that. And then one other thing, that when I've got a fly on the water or you have your fly out, sometimes you need to change it, or you want to check it to see if it's got something hung on it. And that normally for most folks entails either stripping this line in or reeling it all the way in. If you know how to make a roll cast, you just reach up and get the line and make a roll cast, and here's the fly. Then make another roll cast, it's back out to fish. So within 2 seconds I got the fly and put it back out, where that would take a better part of a minute to 2 minutes reeling it all the way in. So it empowers you to become a very, very efficient fly fisherman. And so that's why we're starting off and showing you the basic roll cast maneuver. A roll cast is done very deliberately. There's no impulsiveness to it. You take and you bring the rod back to about 2 o'clock with the line in front of you, and the line slides back, the belly of the line slides back to that position, and then you bring the rod forward to about 12, straight up and down, and then you stroke the rod just as if you were getting ready to cast forward while you were fishing. You stroke it from about 10 o'clock, or very vertically, from about 12 o'clock vertically down to about 10, and stop it there and let the line roll out and straighten out, and then you lower it or move it into whatever position you want to make the next cast or to fish the fly. And here is the roll cast maneuver. That you have enough line out to cast. That usually entails about 20 to 30 feet of line out on the water straight in front of you, or basically. And you begin to raise the rod up vertically and come back to approximately 2 o'clock. And if you see that, now the line is hanging off the rod tip slightly behind the rod. And I want to cast that line weight forward to make the roll cast. So I come up to 12 and I just stroke it to 10, and there's the roll cast. So remember, I just slide it back to 2, develop some line weight back here, and then tap it down to 12, and there's a perfect roll cast. And then lower it down to fish, or in some cases you tap it, make the roll cast, catch it in the air, and then go ahead and make your 4-part cast. So man, it just does all kinds of cool things for you. So you need to really learn how to roll cast good before you really become a complete fly fisherman.